Okay, make sure you have some coffee, you know. This is the challenges section. After lunch, sometimes I talk a lot and then people get sleep.
You can call us out if you see us nodding.
Maybe I will do this when you try. That's okay. So we'll say the opening prayers 3 times, please. Correct your motivation. May all sentient beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and cause of suffering. May they never be apart from this blind bliss that is free from suffering.
May they remain
A state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be apart from this blind bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of the suffering. May they never be apart from this blind bliss that is free from suffering.
May they remain in a state of equanimity,
Free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. All right, now the third Bardo is practice Bardo of meditation. Karma Langba said, Jima. Now when the Bardo of Samadhi appears to me, abandon all forms of distraction and delusion and rest in the nature of non-wandering and non-fixation, free from extremes, gaining stability in the 2 stages, generation and perfection. At this time of single-pointed meditation, having given up activity, I must not fall under the sway of afflictions and delusion. Jimadala samtan wardo chardindar namyan turi zonam bangshini yomen zonme tabdur ngala joy jizoni la tamba tobarsha. Shawa pani tsekchik gomdindar nyumon turi wan motanshi shawa pani means Shavapani, Tsechi Gondi Ndar means haven't given up activities. Shavapang means haven't given up activity. And Tsechi Gondi Ndar is single-pointed meditation, and I must not fall under the sway of afflictions and delusion. It's very different, Tibetan and English. So this is called Pardo. We had first Pardo, the natural Pardo of this life. It's actually in Tibetan, Cheni Pardo. Chieva means born. Nipa means alive. So born and alive Pardo of this life. Then we had illusory Pardo of dreaming. Then the other one is dream Oh, that's it, right? So this is the third. All right, so this is the third. So this is another Pardo. It's called Pardo because it is between, again, Pardo is between. So it is between, this is Samadhi, the meditation, the Pardo of meditation. So we, when we start our meditation until we finished. So in between, when you start meditate until you finish, that's another Pardo. So why they say this, why they have supper like this is why we have teaching on this Pardo, because spiritual point of view, this is very important. Meditation, right? So that's why this is another Pardo, and we have teaching. So it begins whenever we are resting our mind in the present, rest in the nature of, as Karma Langba says, non-wandering, non-thought, non-wandering, and it ends whenever we are distracted from that state. So that's between, that's, so it depends, some are, this is long time. Some are very short. Some are very short. It depends, your practice. So it's, so therefore, therefore the length of time we spent in this Pardo is very individual, right? It's very individual. So some individual has longer and some are shorter. So, so it is not like our ordinary state of deluded thoughts, but it is a period of meditation. What do you call it? Stability, right? Stability, a state of concentration. So you see, the great Dzogchen practitioner, the meditators, when they, when they rest directly in the nature part, the nature mind, without any kind of distractions, then there is no Pardo. There is no Pardo. Great meditators, they're just in their nature mind 24 hours, rest of their life. There's no ordinary thoughts and distractions. So for them, no Pardo. There's no Pardo. So you can say sometimes some teachings say it is the sort of experience of genuine Pardo, like for them, Dzogchen practitioners, genuine Pardo. But Pardo means again in between, right? So these great meditators, there's no between, always like one-pointed nature mind. So there's no really between. But for us, very much there is this is for us like practice Pardo meditation. So it is between when we start our meditation until we finish. And actually, the dream Pardo and this Pardo are part of the Pardo of life, this life, right? This life, because the Pardo of this life naturally included both dreams and our practice. So so that's why sometimes they call this is just one Pardo. So then we have 4 Pardos. If you divide it into 3, this nature Pardo of this life, then we have 6 Pardos, right? It depends how we teach and practice. So if you, so then this is 3rd Pardo. So now the root text says rest in the nature of non-wandering and non-fixation, free from extremes. When you rest directly in the nature of mind during your meditation, and when you allow yourself to relax in that moment, your mind become completely non-sort of conceptual, non-wandering, non-fixation, right? We have little bit experienced that, right? When you, like, maybe we don't have, like, maybe you do, I don't, but rest the nature mind, or you try to relax and focus on your awareness, you can see it. There is no conceptual thinking or this wandering thoughts, right? So that's this Karma Longpa text said, rest this time. So when you practice, what is the obstacle? Distractions, right? So Karma Longpa says, rest the nature of non-wandering and non-fixation, free from extremes. Extremes, this time extreme means like not too tight, not too loose, just to focus on your nature state of mind, then perfect. You have perfect Pardo. And then when you have no thoughts, you don't have the thoughts in your mind, then your body, your mind start to calm down, right? To relax. Yet you are not distracted. You can see it. You are free from distractions, yet you, what do you call it? There is knowing, still sometimes people say non-wandering, non-thoughts, then people think that you become like a stone, not like that. So you, even though you have no wandering thoughts, none, but it totally, completely, both body and relax, your mind relax, but still you have this awareness. So the knowing quality, you will understand what is going on. At the same time, completely relaxed. You're very, very, your mind calm and body is comfortable, relaxed, but there is sense of sort of being fully present and appreciating that moment. Okay? So that's not part of your negative thoughts or this conceptual mind. But still, that's another I would say quality of your non-wandering meditation. So that experience is very important. Okay? So when you try to meditate and you feel nothing, there's no thoughts, but at the same time there's no awareness, that's not correct, I think. So you have no thoughts, but still you are fully present and appreciate, and that's only you will experience. That's why this Bardo is very individual thing. So that experience is very important for a practitioner, and we can say this Bardo, the Bardo of meditation is connected to the experience of Dzogchen practice. And the only way to recognize the nature mind is to relax fully, because the key point in Dzogchen meditation is awareness. And if you are not fully relaxed, there's no perfect awareness. I mean, there is, but you don't recognize it. So that's why the key point in Dzogchen teaching, meditation, is awareness. As I said, when you meditate, try to meditate, you will lose you don't recognize this awareness, then it's not correct. So this awareness is very important. And what is awareness? I mean, like, you will understand this, like, through your experience, right? But awareness is simply a state of mind that is not distracted from the present moment. And when you bring the mind to rest in its own state and its own nature without distraction, then you are in a state of awareness of the present moment. Okay, that is meditation. That is awareness. So there are some important instructions for this practice, and I mean, this Dzogchen part of this part of awareness, some very important instructions, and the details of this practice and instructions should be received from your individual root teachers, not in publicly, so when you have like a strong, in order to receive this teaching, it's very important to have a good connection, blessing. We call it blessing, right? Blessing. In public, the teachings, like, you have no connection to the lineage, to the teacher, then you will not get this blessing, the lineage blessing. So that's why these details of these instructions and teachings should be like individual, like from your root teacher. So when you have a strong heart connection to your lineage, and when you receive these instructions directly from them, it is, teachers always say, it is a much more personal and powerful experience, because like it's hit your heart, physically you will experience, right? It's not like visualization. So if like in the public teachings, like they, visualize my hand, your heart, and then hit your heart like that, that's just your visualization, imagination. But when you have individual like connection with your root teacher and give you this pointing out instruction, and then it's not like visualization, it's just a physical thing. Like, I mean, I give you an example, right? So it's like there is a strong heart connection and like personal and powerful experience, So you never forget that. Once you receive that, you never like forget that, no matter what circumstances. Never forget. It's very vivid and very powerful, and it's just something like unexpressible, like energy or something like that you will get from your root teacher. But in order to receive that, you need good connection. You need to follow the teacher. You need good connection. You need to understand the lineage. You need to good foundation. All of that. It's not easy. Once you have that, you will get it. No question. Without question. If you have question, you ask this experience, that experience, you never get it. But once you have the connection, then when this teacher gives you the pointing instructions, you just get it, okay? Without doubt, I got it. Then what do? You just develop and practice, meditate. You have it, you meditate. If you don't meditate, that moment you get it. But if you don't meditate, slowly you forget, and then you will not get again. So that's because the moment of, transmission of pointing out the nature mind becomes very strong, like meeting point. a genuine meeting of minds, So when you receive the pointing out instructions, you are being introduced directly to the reality of mind nature. So, these teachers say, usually I don't like to teach these things in public, And then I ask these teachers, why you do that? They give teachings like these things, Dzogchen teachings, Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, all of the why they said, doesn't matter. I give these teachings. They don't get it. Then I think, why? Then if they don't get it, then why you give this teaching? And they say they like it. They like it. So then they heard, even like they heard these teachings, there is a benefit, So that's why I give these teachings. But if they really want to practice it, if they really want to get it, then you need then individual things, individual things, not in public, individual thing. But then there are lots of you have to that kind of thing. So now, according to the Pardo instructions, in terms of emotion, any emotion and thoughts that arise in meditation. So we're talking about meditation right now, right? So any emotions, thoughts, these are very common. So it's important not to become distracted by anything outside of it. And do not lose the energy of that moment, and that emotion. Whatever it is, simply rest your mind and look at it without distraction. Okay? That's why the root text says that abandon all forms of distraction and rest in the nature of non-wandering. So when you are in this Pardo, that is the what do you call it, instruction. Okay, that's the main thing. Abandon all forms of distraction. And in terms of this practice, we have, usually we have three different views, but same result. So, for example, there is there is what you call Madhyamaka, the middle way, right? And then there is Mahamudra, section, the Karja things, the nature mind, about nature mind. Then we have Nyingma, the Dzogchen practice, Mahasandhi, Mahamudra, and middle way. Three different views, but same result. Three different ways to approach to your nature mind. So they are slightly different, especially as you know, the Mahamudra and Dzogchen, they really sort of emphasize the pointing out instructions, right? The introduction, they go to the mind, nature, and essence. But Madhyamaka, the middle way system, approaches ultimate truth through intellectual analysis. So it means like having repeatedly examined the subject, object, and mind. It's like a scientist, all the time they invest the middle ways. This Buddhist philosopher, they investigate everything, the causes, and conditions, and subject, and object, and mind, where they come from, where they go, what is it, all of that. You have to investigate everything. This is the middle way, Buddhist philosophy, the Madhyamaka. It is possible to arrive at the same realization as the other two views, the Mahamudra and Mahasandhi, the Dzogchen, But through this middle way, it takes long time to get there, So, and it take long time, but what do you call it? Not so dangerous, because you all the time investigate, is it true, not all the time like that. Eventually you get it, right? No, so it's not dangerous, but it take long time. Dzogchen, Mahamudra are very fast, but it's very dangerous way to get to see the view. It's very dangerous. That's why the teachers say you need good foundation in order to practice Dzogchen, right? So there's danger things there, but it's very, very quick. Like if you're fortunate, then you will get right away and then attain liberation this very lifetime.
Would you mind going into a little bit more detail about the dangers?
Dangerous? Well, put it this way. If you're the Dzogchen point of view, there's no cause, no condition, no past life, no future life. Do you think that's dangerous? If you really, really like without a good foundation, if you believed there's no past life, no future life, there's no cause, no karma, I can kill you, I will kill you. There's no like non-virtuous, no virtuous, nothing. So why not? Why not? I can do this and that. Whatever I want, I can do it. That's danger things. Your view is actually very high, but your capacity is not there yet. So if you get there, you can do everything like Telopa, kill the fish and eat fish like that. For him, like it's good for fish, good for him. Right? He has their capacity. Without the capacity, that's what I'm saying. Dangerous. This happened long time ago, like people killed, and people killed and do something bad, because Dzogchen, they received the Dzogchen teachings, and then it's just like really like I don't know, it's just open, like freedom means like whatever you want. But that's not correct. So in order to do that, whatever you want, in order to do that, you have to have this the highest view, not only view, capacity, your conduct, all of that need to match, Otherwise, if you understand Dzogchen through intellectual teachings, intellectual way, and then your capacity, your meditation, not there, you can do whatever the Dzogchen teaching says. So that's danger part, okay? So once you have renunciation mind, bodhicitta mind, then ready, perfect. Dzogchen, you are ready, Dzogchen teaching. You have no renunciation mind, no bodhicitta mind, you are not ready at all. Okay, so that's the thing. There's no point without bodhicitta, without renunciation, practice Dzogchen. What is for? So these three things, we have that, right? What do you call it? Lama Tsongkhapa's this practice renunciation, first stage. Second stage, bodhicitta. Third, he called emptiness. The Nyingma we say Dzogchen. So he practiced probably through the middle ways, emptiness. So these three are very important. Three wisdom, again, right? Practice, learn, understand life is so important. So once you understand that's why like the precious human life, and you don't want to waste it, and you want to do something for yourself and having a meaningful life, that's renunciation. And then you want to do something meaningful, means like do something for others. That's part of bodhicitta. So then you're ready to practice dzogchen. Otherwise, dzogchen is, if you're fortunate enough, dzogchen is perfect. Very, very nice. Not, then it's dangerous. It's like holy, what do you call it? Holy bamboo, You either go up or go down. There's no other way. Like you put a snake in holy, hollow, right? Hollow bamboo. So top and bottom. So either you go this way, go that way. That's it. That's like dzogchen practice. Either you go that or down. Anyway, we're not. So that right. So generally, dzogchen has two systems of transmission. The oral lineage called, as we talked about this, karma, right? All oral lineage is karma, and then tejo lineage is terma. Remember, this morning we talked about karma and terma. So the main point of the Pardo of this life is to receive instructions in proper way, and having received the oral instructions fully, you can then practice on your own, your way, your own, Means like you don't need a teacher, like physical teacher. And in order to attain liberation in this lifetime through dzogchen practice, there are two things that are important. The rappening empowerments. Mun means wrapping your mind through empowerment. You know empowerment, right? You receive a lot of empowerment from different teachers. Empowerment, very important. And then dorwa means in Tibetan, it's liberating instructions on nature of mind. So mun means first you're like wrapping in your mind, and then dor means liberated through that, right? Through the wrapping in. Yes. So in order to receive these two things, first you have to finish preliminary practice. That's actually what we are doing. Very good. I'm happy for that. And because through the preliminary practice, you can develop, as I said, you can develop renunciation. You can develop bodhicitta. And you can purify obscurations, right? Outer preliminaries, renunciation. Inner preliminaries, bodhicitta, right? In order to recognize true nature, purification, and accumulation, merit. So Bodhisattva, mandala. Then Guru Yoga. Guru Yoga is dzogchen. Actually, so once you have renunciation, once you have bodhicitta, you purify negative karma, accumulate merit, and then Guru Yoga. So So that is the key point, without obscurations, then realization can arise. So from the Bodhisattva practice, Bodhisattva in preliminary, it's very important. And from the Vajrayana Dzogchen point of view, when you recognize the nature of mind of Rigpa, in Tibet, Rigpa, and relax in that nature, you don't have to seek after freedom, the enlightenment. Enlightenment comes to you once you have these things. That's not your goal, Once you have all of this, you relax, you relax, you recognize, you relax, stay in that relaxation, nature, mind. That's the enlightenment comes to you. It comes to you. You don't have to chase or seek after, these things, freedom, enlightenment. So that is possible. That is possible in this very lifetime. That is possible. But we have precious human life, but in the same time, we have too many distractions. There's samsaric things. So that's prevent this, freedom, enlightenment. So then we can help others as much as we want, because our capacity is very limited.
As long as we're in that area, is Mahamudra?
What?
Mahamudra, is it in different than Togya?
A little bit, not much. Different lineage, some different instructions. Same. If you understand, everything is same. Karjit, Nyingma, Geluk, Sarcha, no different. If you don't understand, there's always contradiction, right? Contradiction. Within Nyingma, But it's just the same thing. You have to develop 3 wisdoms. That's all. And what wisdom? Renunciation, bodhicitta, and nature mind. So therefore, the time we have now is very precious. Very precious. And we must use this opportunity while our body and our mind are still together. Once they separate, you don't know what will happen. Okay? So therefore, physically healthy, mentally happy, this is precious. So then you can develop other qualities. Once they separate, mind, body, different. Body is form. Mind is formless. There's a different characteristic, different definition, different everything. But they are very, right now, this moment, they are both are equally important to relax and to understand the nature of the body, nature of mind. So therefore, if we are diligent in practice, this Pardo is meaningful, right? The Samadhi Pardo meditation is meaningful. We are doing this every day. So, and eventually we can go beyond, which is there's no Pardo, right? So right now we are in Pardo. When we meditate, start meditate until we finish. That's Pardo. But eventually we can go beyond this Pardo through Dzogchen practice. All right? that is practice Pardo of meditation. Okay, this we can talk about this like many days, right? Shamatha, Vipassana, preliminary, all of this. This include this Pardo. What do you call it? The Pardo of meditation. Practice Pardo of meditation. Now, the fourth Pardo is we call painful Pardo of dying. Well, root text. Chima, now when the Pardo of death appears to me, abandon all grasping and attachment. Enter into the nature of the clear oral instructions without distraction. Transfer into the unborn space of self-arising awareness as I'm about to leave this compounded body of flesh and blood. I will know it to be transitory illusions. Okay? Jima daglan chika bardon chardindar kunla chaksam hinzin pamshini tanga sarvangala mayang jurang jimi namkiyans dishi shatagli dan talla kat murtak jima yimbar shiparisha. When I memorized this like automatically when I was like 7, 8 years old, my mother every day saying these prayers while she prostrate. So I had no attention to understand or memorize them, but every day hearing, from her, since I memorized them since when I was like 7, 8 years old. So now the teachers say this Pardo is painful Pardo of dying. Why? It's because, as you know, the process of dying usually is painful. Because at the time of the dissolutions of the elements, when we begin to lose contact with the appearance of this life, we experience some degree of physical suffering. The process is definitely painful because our bodies are compounded, what do you call it? Our bodies are like this, made out like this, the elements, five elements, right? Fire, the earth, water, air, space, right? So these elements, very important. When we are born, these 5 elements come together. It's like a tree. I always think like tree is like our symbol of like our life. When they grow, like the leaves and the essence, the flowers, and all just grow. And then when they die, everything fall down, right? Everything like dissolve, That's the same thing. When we're born, we these 5 elements come together and our bodies come into existence. At the time of death, opposite. They're dissolving or falling apart is opposite to coming together. Also, at the time of death, we may become like overwhelmed by feelings of sadness, fear, pain, sometimes regret, right? Because of all of this, because of our attachment, grasping, and holding onto this appearance of this life, selfish mind, right? So if we can let go of our attachment, then this Pardo is no longer the painful Pardo of dying. It is just a Pardo of dying, not painful Pardo. I know that. Great masters, they don't really suffer, like when they pass away, very happily, very, very happily. They have different visions, different experience, and then this is Pardo of dying, because as you know, death is part of our lives, right? So it can happen at any times. So if we remember this, then it helps us to practice and gives us motivation to practice. So we have this, we practice a lot in outer preliminary, practice impermanence, right? Impermanence of life. Why? Because it helps to practice. It gives us motivation to practice. So if we have the habit of practicing during this life, then it will be easier to practice when we pass away. So it is very important to remember to practice at that time and not be attached to your property, your family, your friends, even your body. Even your body. Right now we have to sort of like exercise to, let go everything. Because if right now we can't, then during this time we are attached to our body, our property, everything. So at the time of death, a peaceful mind is so important. Means like without, feelings of like fear, sadness, regret. That peaceful mind is so important. No matter if you are Buddhist or not, it's just, it's very important, peaceful mind. And actually, during this time, like at this time, there are three important, I think, practice for dying. First, rest in the nature of mind is the best. If you can, rest in nature of mind is the best. If you can't do that, the next, you should generate bodhicitta and say prayers. And if you can't do either of these two, can't rest nature mind, can't generate bodhicitta genuine, because this moment, this time, people, I met so many people who are dying, right? So sometimes most people have regret, Oh, I should have done this and that, but not too late, blah, blah, blah. So they just can't rest. And also selfish people can't, generate bodhicitta. So if you can do both of them, then at least use prayers and devotion to ask for the blessings of the enlightened beings. Karma Lingpa said in the root text that at the time of death, you should let go of grasping, attachment, and fixation to everything. This is very important to remember at this point. It will happen, okay? Today we're very healthy, very, very happy, but this will happen sometime. So you have to keep in mind, don't forget. no grasping, no attachment, nothing. Let it go. So everything, fame, money, all these worldly concerns, anything else that is greatly valued during this lifetime is totally useless at the moment of death. Okay? So at the time of death, we can no longer rely on money or wealth, etc. We can only rely on our practice, because that's we have. So simply relax and rest in the nature mind, and whatever occurs during the delusion stages doesn't really matter. The experience just passes by. So that is key point. To understand, each Bardo has different unique and different instructions, different meditation. So whenever we are going through all these Bardos, 4 Bardos, so each Bardos, each Bardo appears to you, you have to remember it. But if you don't keep right now, you will not remember it. Instead, you get panic, fear, attachment, all of that things. That's why samsara, most time people, can't have it. So samsara is endless, just around, goes around. If you're fortunate enough, you become a human being again, human being. So that is very important. And if you rest in the nature of your mind, when the ground luminosity, right? Wasal in Tibet, wasal is beautiful. Wasal manifest, luminosity manifest. You are naturally liberated, because it's very easy this time, So this is when the great practitioners achieve the state known as the rainbow body. Rainbow body, rainbow body? Which means at the point of death, their pure mind dissolve into, ultimate reality, and also the gross elements of their bodies dissolve back into the basic reality of emptiness. It means they don't leave their body behind. They have their capacity. Padmasambhava did. There are 2 different rainbow bodies, but this is Dzogchen practice. So they can do that through Dzogchen practice. But I don't care that, leave it behind your body. It's just, fine. But the most important thing is the mind, the consciousness. That is the important thing. So, when practitioners that is like great practitioners, the capacity. And then middle, there is a middle, capacity, the practitioner capacity die. They meet their, death without fear or without struggle. They are able to simply rest in the nature mind, so that they don't need go through the experience of the other Bardos, like death. Because Milarepa said that death is not death for a yogi. It is a little enlightenment. That is it. So that is what we will experience if we can die in such a manner. Majik Labden also said that in the Jot practice. Death is not a death. It's another enlightenment, if you really have that capacity. And that's middle like capacity die people. Now the practitioners of a lesser capacity, those who don't have realization of the nature mind, will go through the experience of the Pardos, of all the other Pardos, and all experience of the Pardo at the time of death. So there are three kind of like different practitioners who have different capacities. So whatever your capacity is, it is important at the moment of death, try to not feel anger and all of these things, or attachment or other, negative emotions, and keep your mind pure. Okay? So it is better to pass away in a peaceful, peaceful manner. And the only thing that we need to do at the time of death is to remember the instructions. We need to check our mind in order to see how much we are grasping at this life and how attached we are to it. And the most important thing to remember at the time of death is Bodhichitta. Okay? And the best time to prepare for these things, for death, is right now. Is right now. It's right now. So when we die, we will automatically remember our practice if you prepare right now. And another important thing to know is whether someone is a great meditator or just an ordinary being, it is extremely important that the body not be moved as soon as they die, if you have chance to do that. Because a person with the best ability to meditate remains in their nature mind and enters meditation. So if their body is moved or touched, it will disturb their meditation. This is in Tibetan called tuktam. The best meditators, they goes into the samadhi, this nature mind, and then they stay there for different periods of time. So you cannot touch their body, disturbed. That's great one, right? Great practitioner. Ordinary beings, most ordinary beings are unable to leave their bodies as soon as they die because of attachment and so on. You guys, this guy died, this person died because the heart stopped. That doesn't mean completely die, this person. Many people, I know that. I met many people who can't die right away. Even though looks like gone, everything's gone, stopped. But in the subtle level of this energy and consciousness still in their body because of attachment. You can see this, how much we attach to our body. It's amazing. So you can't die right away because the attachment. So subtle consciousness remains in their body for, I don't know how long, but, so therefore, if their body is quickly, thrown out and then, or put in refrigerator or whatever, then that causes them suffering. last year I went to Tibet and someone died, and they invite me to say the poa practice, and I went there and they put their body in the refrigerator. I just amazed. We didn't have this kind of culture, Now we have, of course, the refrigerator. And I said, why you put it? Because then they say, I want to keep his body for as much as I want. So this is the best way to keep. No. Nature is very important. Die naturally, live naturally. That's where we come from. This refrigerator and these things is just like this modern thing, not our nature, So I think, therefore, but we don't, sometimes here we don't have that option. So, but if you can, I suggest, you should keep your body for at least 3 days. If you can. If you cannot, then
untouched for 3 days.
Untouched, that's right. Untouched, their body. Just die naturally. You never know. Sometimes it die quickly, but sometimes not. So you really don't know. So the safe way is just keep your body 3 days, at least 3 days, die naturally. This yogi is very nice, right? When they died, in the middle of the mountains and jungles, nobody touches. Milarepa said that. That's my goal, he said. When I died, nobody knows it, nobody sees it, nobody touches it naturally. Well, that's the best, I think. Nature is very nice, beautiful. And another thing is when you know that your death is near, you can start to prepare yourself by having the intention to stay calm and remind yourself how important this time is, and to remember again Bodhichitta. So, it is not good if you never think about death. It is not good. Because then you will never be prepared. So when the Pardo of Dying appears to us, it is important to remain as calm as possible and to have a peaceful and positive state of mind. Very important. Because the very last, according to Buddhism, very last thought that appears in our mind has a powerful influence in after-death experience and the next rebirth. That is the bridge. We have a few minutes. So there are 3 things, I will tell you this in briefly, okay? There are 3 things that will happen when the mental consciousness dissolves into alaya. They are called 3 experiences of nangwa, means appearances. Nam, chit, top. It's very important, this experience. Nangwa means appearances. Chitpa means increase. Topa means attainment. Which means we will experience the color like whiteness, redness, and darkness. It's just an experience, for the great practitioners, there is the great sort of possibility of enlightenment right there at the moment when they the white and red essence come together in heart center, the unity of bliss and emptiness happens. If the person is skilled practitioner, then there is a moment of full enlightenment and attainment. This red and white experiences come from your father and mother, the essence. And for people not sort of familiar with this experience, then there is only blackout, so become like unconscious. But these three appearances, arise to most ordinary beings at death, but this experience appears very like that shortly, almost impossible to recognize by people who are not practitioner, and ordinary people don't even notice it because it happens too fast. This experience, these teachings from great meditators, they have recognition. So then what will happen if we don't recognize, if we don't experience, don't recognize the bliss, the union of the bliss and emptiness? It appears when you're after your heart stop, whatever you're like outly like you already died, and then inside you have this experience. So this again like is like reminder you, like right now you meditate on nature mind. When this appears to you, right away you recognize it. You remember your nature mind. So then there is chance to another opportunity to attain, the liberation, attainment. And if you are not successful in practicing any of these instructions, then what happens is the next Bardo will appears. So their outer, inner, and secret signs that will appears to us after death. The outer signs actually related to experience of the body. So I'm not going to talk those things. You can read this, actually these things in books, Pardo books. So the outer relate, all this like the 5 elements, how they dissolve into each other, and then how you feel like when they dissolve into each other. This is very easy, like even like ordinary people will understand it through their experience. And then inner sign to the experience of mind. And the secret sign to the experience of the luminosity, the vessel, luminosity. So Karma Langba's teaching for the Pardo of Dying says, remember this, when the Pardo of death appears, abandon what? Grasping, attachment to all. And then what? Enter into the unborn space of self-arising awareness. Self-arising awareness. That's nature mind. So it is very important to remember these instructions during death time. Means the Pardo of Dying. Okay? Now, meditation for a few minutes and then we'll go ahead. So we have very famous and very common practice for Pardo of Dying, right? So we call it POA. POA practice. POA means transference of consciousness. We have done that a few years ago, POA practice. So we should practice POA now. Okay, so Poa, practicing Poa, transference of consciousness, is great instruction for this Pardo, the painful Pardo of dying. So Poa is practice that is mostly connected to the time of death. So you can practice Poa for yourself, you can practice Poa for others, your friends, family who are dying, if they believe next life. So when your mind and the body, as I said, like start to separate and sort of begin to lose their connection, there are few different Poa practice, We have Dharmakaya Poa, we have Sambhogakaya Poa, we have Nirmanakaya Poa, and then we have like this ordinary Poa, all of that. We have different Poa practice, but today we'll practice Dharmakaya Poa, which is formless practice. Okay? There is no visualization, there is no recitation, no prayer, nothing. Dharmakaya Poa is the best Poa practice. So you simply rest without distraction, okay? In the non-conceptual wisdom, nature of mind, or sometimes it's the Karma Longpa says like the arising, self-arising awareness, okay? That's it. That's your practice. That's Dharmakaya practice. So you should consider that you are ready to die. I'm not ready, but start to die, like start to, your body, your mind, start like, separate and, almost ready to lose their connection. How you feel? You should visualize that, okay? Now you have only consciousness. You are going to live behind your body. Okay, let go all attachment to this body, okay? That's your first motivation. And then you should feel it. You should feel it. This is not like prepare for dying, okay? So you should consider that you are going to die this moment. What do you do? Okay, are you ready? Now, sometimes people do this, get panic, like, oh, sometimes they say, I'm not ready. But it's good. It's good to do this. So you simply rest without distraction, means like in the non-conceptual wisdom, nature of mind. Okay, if you don't understand what is nature of mind, you understand awareness, right? Awareness. So rest in awareness, and so this, in order to do this, it requires you to recognize experience of your inner peace. So therefore you have to let go of this grasping or attachment or all of that, okay? And be aware of the inner peace and just relax there and not follow your thoughts. Every time your mind is distracted by thoughts, bring it back to the relaxation and do not focus on anything. Just relax without thoughts and let go of attachment to, maybe you can examine how much attachment to your body. Maybe you are not. I do. I attach my body a lot when I investigate. I don't touch things that I have. I don't care. If I lose them, I don't care. If I get, I don't care. It's good. Everything's good. But when I get sick, like for instance, when I get sick, oh, I don't want experience this. This is painful. Means I'm attached to my body a lot, very strongly. So maybe you are, maybe you're not. So if you're not, that's good for you. Then you don't need to these things, makeup and all these things. You just let it go, everything, and be just the nature, and everything is beautiful. So that's our practice for a few minutes. Okay, we have. Oh, actually, we are beyond time. Okay, let's quick. Maybe like I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. So let's like 3 or 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, let's do it.